good stuff to talk about. Today is the what?
13th.
Come on now, like y'all don't know what the date is. Come on now, the 13th. Y'all sure it's the 13th?
Yes, sir.
All right, so today is the 13th. Today we're going to be talking about 7 signs you are emotionally abusive to other people. Yeah. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive to people. Keep an eye on this dude. Keep an eye on this cat. Yeah. 7 signs you are. Anybody in here ever been emotionally abused? But sometimes, man, we get trained as little kids and then we go into our adulthood with that. Y'all feel me? You got to get started. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Word of the day is emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is non-physical behaviors. So emotional abuse is not physical. Emotional abuse can be I'm threatening to physically harm you. That's emotional abuse. Like when your parents, you know you did something wrong and they make you take all your clothes off. Some of y'all looking at me like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. This was crazy what we went through. Up north too. Come on, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people from down south migrated up north. Well, yeah, up north. Remember that? Remember what they used to tell us? Take your clothes off. Yeah, take the clothes off. Go in your room and wait for a whooping. That's called drawback all the way from slavery, man. Cruel and unusual punishment. You go to bed because you're so emotionally unstable. You drift off to sleep trying to forget about it and get woken up with a beating. That's emotional abuse. That, the root of it is mental illness. Generation of people mentally ill raising children. And we wonder how we got here today. My God. It's non-physical behaviors that are meant to control, meant to isolate, meant to frighten you. That's the purpose of emotional abuse. To control, to frighten you, and to isolate you from the people who love you. This may present itself in romantic relationships as threats, insults, constant monitoring, excessive jealousy, manipulation, humiliation, intimidation, defensiveness, and among other things, because it was so much stuff, you can't fit it all up here. People who tend to be emotional abusers are typically people who ain't going to physically do something to you, but emotionally, they got you. They might not physically jump on you, but emotionally, they're going to do a hatchet job on you. Saying another day, stop trying to create a new you around the same old people. This talk is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice, treatment, guidance, or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, substance use or abuse, and suicidal thoughts, dial 988. 988 is available 24/7 nationwide and staffed by trained crisis counselors who are just a text or call away. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Have you ever put someone down for their appearance or their intellect? Of making fun of other kids in school? And I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of the kids who are making fun of other kids in school, these are kids who have been emotionally abused. They've been taught that. Ain't it something how the poor kids at school making fun of other kids with raggedy shoes? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? The kid on welfare making fun of the other kid because he saw him in the store with some food stamps and his mama with some food stamps? Come on, man, this is taught behavior. Have you ever put someone down for their appearance or their intellect? And if you did, you were being emotionally abusive to them. And the problem with that is that we got so many adults with a little child's mentality. Because we can go online and go on Facebook, YouTube, all those other social media, and people are acting just like this. Oh, let me tell you something. What I'm going to be describing as emotional abuse is a lot of stuff we see grown people doing today. Because just because you 30, 40, or 50 doesn't mean your intellect is there. You still might be a young little boy in a grown man body who never healed. You still might be a little girl in a grown woman's body who never healed. Because if you get off on putting people down and making fun of people, of their appearance or their intellect, you are being emotionally abusive. And if that's what you do, it was probably done to you. Emotional abuse is one of the more common forms of abuse that uses behavioral or emotional tactics to gain a sense of control to maintain the upper hand in a relationship. Basically, they want to maintain the upper hand in the relationship, and the only way they can do that is knocking you down. It says something about a person. In order to feel good about yourself, you got to bring somebody down. It says something about you as a person. Emotional abuse may be subtle and hard to recognize since it often gets swept under the rug as just a part of normal disagreements. So some of us have some people who are really sick in our lives, and they sick and we make excuses for them, and we don't notice how sick they are because they always been like that. We're going to talk about it today. 7 signs you're emotionally abusive. Number 1, you jokingly insult people. You jokingly insult people. Have you ever made a joke with the intention of hurting the person you're making fun of? While family and friends may enjoy playful banter with each other, teasing and playful put-downs can end up crossing the line into emotional abuse when the jokes become aggressive and used intentionally to send a negative and hurtful message. This especially applies when you continue teasing the person or brush it off as only a joke, even though they've asked you to stop and that your comments have become hurtful. How many times you ever been joking with a family or a friend or somebody and they went a little too far with their joke and you had to step back and be like, hold up, I don't play like that. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Number 2, you dismiss other people's feelings. Emotionally abusive people ignore or dismiss how others feel because they believe that others deserve to feel bad. And if you're that type of person, man, you see a person hurting or a person suffering or a person in pain mentally, and you feel like they deserve that, you got the devil in you. You do. I'm being honest, bro. If they'd have listened to me, they wouldn't be going through that. You got the devil in you. Because you celebrating that they didn't listen to you as though you had the answer. Yep. Want to see your downfall. You dismiss other people's feelings. Emotionally abusive people ignore or dismiss how others feel because they believe that others deserve to feel bad. Not recognizing someone's feelings may become emotionally abusive when you tell them their feelings are wrong or that they have no reason or no right to be upset. This psychological invalidation, that's what it is. It's psychological invalidation, and it starts when we're young. Because when you get mad at one of your parents and you pout and they say, get that look off your face. Don't pay no bills around here. You don't have a right to be mad around here. You don't have a right to be mad. A child, you were training him or her to suppress their emotions. It's stuff, man, and a lot of parents, because it's a lot of stuff parents don't even know about their kids. Come on. This psychological invalidation of brushing someone's feelings off as irrelevant or dramatic can lead to feelings of rejection, alienation, and depression. 7 signs you're emotionally abusive. Number 3, you love to embarrass other people. Get off on it. Emotionally abusive people like to bring up someone's embarrassing moments to make them feel guilty or ashamed. Emotionally abusive people humiliate others out of anger or because they feel threatened. It's one thing to laugh about past moments in a fun and loving way, but this may quickly become emotional abuse when you go out of your way to humiliate someone as a way to punish or a reminder that you are the one in control in the relationship. Humiliating someone in front of people or when they've asked you to stop can be incredibly damaging for their mental and emotional well-being. My mama came up to the school when I was in 4th grade. The principal had called her. Your son just got into another fight. We're about to suspend him. You need to come pick him up. They was giving me a paddling, right? I don't know what the hell he thought that paddle was going to do, because what my mama was doing, that wasn't nothing. That wasn't even a consequence. And he had the nerve to say, I got to go get a secretary so I can give you your paddle, so I can have a witness. You can go get the president of the United States. That ain't nothing compared to what my mama doing. He left out of the room to go get a secretary to come back and give me my little paddling. And while he was gone, my mama came up to the school, had 4 switches in her hand, walked through the hallway, came in the principal's office, broke 2 of them on me, branches and leaves all over the office. Principal came into the office. He was shocked. Looked over at me. I could see the hurt in his face looking at me. He wished he had never even called my mama. My mama walked me through the hallway, past classrooms. You know how you walk past classrooms and everybody looking at everybody walk through the hall? You ain't watching the board. Somebody walk by the house. You walking me through the hallway, man. Kids looking. I was a laughing stock of the school the next day, man. That's emotional abuse. If you want to create an angry human being, do that to a child and see what you get out of it. Because all pit bulls ain't mean. But if you take one when he's a puppy and you're irritated, if you beat it for no reason, man, I hope y'all hear this, man. 7 signs you're emotionally abusive. You embarrass others. Emotionally abusive people like to bring up someone's embarrassing moments to make them feel guilty or ashamed. Emotionally abusive people humiliate others out of anger or because they feel threatened. It's one thing to laugh about past moments in a fun-loving way, but this quickly becomes emotional abuse when you go out of your way to humiliate someone as a way of punishment or a reminder that you are the one in control of the relationship. Just walking in the house and hearing your mama talk about you peeing in the bed is enough to cause emotional abuse. And I know that sounds kind of funny, right? But that's emotional abuse. He's a human being. She's a human being. How many of y'all have ever walked in on your mama talking about something you did that was stupid? Here we go. Humiliating someone in front of people or when they've asked you to stop can be incredibly damaging to their mental and emotional well-being. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Number 4, you like to push buttons with your grown self. Running around trying to push buttons and get reactions out of people. Grow up. I ain't saying that to y'all. I'm just throwing that out. Y'all know, right? Hey, now, if the shoe fits, say ouch, though. Did you know that constantly doing and saying things to get others to react is also a form of emotional abuse? Doing unpredictable things to keep the other person on their toes can be a form of emotional abuse. Going home and telling your woman, knowing she got a jealousy streak, let me tell you what this new girl at work was saying and doing all up in my face. You trying to keep her on her toes, but you emotionally abusing her. You like to push buttons. Did you know that constantly doing and saying things to get others to react is also a form of emotional abuse? Doing unpredictable things to keep the other person on their toes can be a form of emotional abuse. Instead of being spontaneous to do things you both enjoy, you may use this unpredictable tactic to say or do things to purposely anger and upset them, especially in front of other people. This may include broadcasting a secret they told you in confidence or making social media posts you know will trigger them. You don't go to social media. You putting somebody on blast, talking about all their business, but all you really doing is putting yourself on blast that you can't be trusted. Because a real person, even if I fall out with you, I'm not going to talk about your business. Even if I do fall out with you, I ain't going to reveal your secrets. That just shows that you wasn't worth that person's time in the first place and you're not a loyal friend. They showing you they not loyal. She can slice the last dude she was with up and down. You sitting back laughing because it ain't you. But it will be. This may include broadcasting a secret they told you in confidence or making social media posts you know will trigger them. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Number 5, you tell people their version of reality is wrong. You deny other people's feelings. You tell people their version of reality is wrong. Emotionally abusive people dismiss someone else's experience as imagined or wrong. And that's called gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological term for negating someone else's reality, and it involves intentional using of someone's words, feelings, or actions against them. The goal is to completely discredit anything the other person has to say so that the abuser can maintain control over the situation. This may include telling them that they are crazy, accusing them of lying, or making decisions for them without their input. 7 signs you're emotionally abusive. Number 6, you use your emotions to get people to do what you want. Somebody done did something wrong. They say, well, you know, once I die, I'm going to leave y'all the house. Well, ain't nobody dying. You just messed up. Let's talk about that. Don't try to take me there. Don't take me there. You use your emotions to get people to do what you want. Emotionally abusive people intentionally make others feel guilty just to get their way. Expressing our emotions can be a positive for our mental health because appropriate self-expression facilitates open communication and prevents many misunderstandings and resentments. However, unleashing your emotions becomes destructive when you use it to manipulate another person. This may include impulsive shouting or screaming, using threats or ultimatums, blaming them for fights you started, or using information they've told you in confidence against them to maintain control and power over them and their relationship. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. And the final one, you use your silence as a weapon. Instead of talking to people, you rather give them the silent treatment. You use your silence as a weapon. Emotionally abusive people deal with conflict by shutting down and running in the other direction. They use this silent treatment on others to get what they want. Emotionally withholding is a form of emotional abuse. That includes what you may know as the silent treatment. Although it's normal for any relationship to go through periods of silence, that's normal. It may become abusive when you start to use it as a way to punish, control, or manipulate. Withholding affection or positive emotion through the silent treatment is a toxic way to gain the upper hand in any relationship. This also includes talking to everyone about the issue except the other person involved, or wanting the other person to feel bad or guilty. You want them to feel bad or guilty. 7 signs you are emotionally abusive. Number 1, you jokingly insult people. Number 2, you dismiss other people's feelings. Number 3, you love to embarrass others. Number 4, you like to push buttons. Number 5, you tell people their version of reality is wrong. Number 6, you use your emotions to get people to do what you want. And number 7, the final one, you use your silence as a weapon. Let me go over that last part again one more time. Using silence as a weapon. Emotionally abusive people deal with conflict by shutting down and running in the other direction. They use the silent treatment on others to gain what they want. Emotional withholding is a form of emotional abuse that involves using affection, validation, love, and praise against someone. Is a form of emotional abuse that includes what you know as the silent treatment. Although it's normal for any relationship to go through periods of silence, that's normal. It may become abusive when you start to use it as a way to punish, control, or manipulate. Withholding affection or positive emotion through the silent treatment is a toxic way to gain the upper hand in any relationship. This also includes talking to everyone about the issue except the other person involved in the relationship, or just wanting the other person to feel bad or guilty. That's what your goal is. Any question, concerns, or comments, y'all?
That hurt too.
It hurt a little bit?
Oh, Lord.
Hurt a little bit?
We've
That's good then if it's hurting a little bit. It's shaking you up.
experienced it and probably participated in it as well. We've all probably experienced all of those and participated in it as well.
And then most of us who participated in it, we learned it. Go ahead.
From that, yeah, because it happened to us, but it did to someone else.
Yep.
But
Damn, that's deep.
But I've learned from having that higher self-esteem, a learning of it, you can get past a lot of that. Because,
all of it.
Yeah, when you understand that I got me first, then what you do or say, and it can still get to you. Because if you trust people and they come in with an agenda, you stuck. You just
only way you're not stuck if your self-esteem is at a level where you know whatever they do is not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of them. Because if you fall for that, you'll be driving in your car and somebody will be pulling up next to you. You idiot! You a-hole! That's not personal. They don't even know you. They don't know you from the man on the moon. Maybe you cut them off. Maybe you was driving too slow. But whatever they just said is a reflection of them as a person. Right. And they said what they said. Now, you can take it personal. But once you start realizing that what other people do is basically a reflection of themselves, really has nothing to do with you, even though they might try to make it about you, your name ain't written on that. And a lot of times people try to give us stuff and our name ain't written on it at all, man. So I agree. Yeah. So, Yeah, you work on your self-esteem and you can avoid a whole lot of this. Any other questions, concerns, or comments, y'all?
I got a question.
Good.
I saw the news the other day that last week or so, gaslighting was put into the dictionary.
Yeah, I never
It
heard
was
of
put
it
into the
until
dictionary just recently.
Yeah, okay. I know it's the most used term all year this year.
I had never heard of it, so I heard you using it, and then I started hearing on television. On
Yeah,
radio,
it's Buzzworld. They're using that.
Just this year, I never heard of
Y'all heard he just say it, right? He said he never heard the word gaslighting until he heard me say it.
Me too.
And how many other people say that?
I never heard
Actually, you've heard it. You just never noticed it until after I said it. Now you know it. You was hearing it before. You just was hearing it and going in one ear and out the other ear. Just like when you go out and get you a new car or a used car, and you go out and get you a red something or a yellow this. You're like, yeah, I ain't seen this car out on the road. And now you're driving it. You're seeing it everywhere now.
Yeah.
The same color everywhere now. You just say, I would never see in this car. But now you're seeing it. Well, you wasn't noticing it before.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Gotcha.
All right. Any other questions, concerns, or comments, y'all?
You're early. Getting good.
Yeah. All right, let's get our day started.